Good morning, Leann. This week
Morning.
we have been getting some more final interim guidance from the SBA that has become concerning. And so I think we need to go through a discussion of what the last round of guidance sounds like.
Yeah, so we got some guidance Thursday, and they're really emphasizing this little passage that the SBA will review all loans in excess of $2 million in addition to other loans as appropriate. And we knew that. We were talking to our folks about it. But then when they gave us some more detail about what they would be reviewing, it caught our attention a little bit more. And they've changed the verbiage, whereas it was asking us to certify that there was a current economic uncertainty that makes the loan request necessary. That loan request necessary, why do you need the loan, was really emphasized, whereas the economic uncertainty seemed to be the bigger emphasis. So that good faith statement now has to take into account your current business activity, as well as your ability to access other sources of liquidity sufficient to support ongoing operations in a manner that's not significantly detrimental to business. A couple of our concerns are that those are several very vague, kind of subject to interpretation terms. So the borrower must be prepared to demonstrate to SBA upon request the basis for its certification. So those are our concerns right now.
So we're gonna, we've been talking about documenting everything that we do and being prepared to demonstrate this a year from now. So let's go over that again in light of the new information, exactly what we're trying to emphasize that needs to be included in the documentation.
So we're talking about what is your current economic uncertainty. We're just going to take this in order. We're all in the same boat to some degree or another. So right off of Wikipedia, you can gather that information. We really encourage you to go and capture it now and put it in a document, in a Word document. So you can just copy this. We copied it right off Wikipedia. And it documents when Governor Edwards enacted the statewide stay-at-home order, when we were first impacted by it here in Louisiana. And so if you're not one of our clients, you're not in the Louisiana area, then you can probably find the same information for your state. But for us, this is really helpful information. And then why did you think you would actually need the loan for ongoing operations? Again, you've got to look at your current business situation. So go ahead and document what you were thinking when that information first came out. Something like at Empowered Business, we immediately complied with the governor's proclamation by doing this, this, and this, or a couple of changes. For us, we shut down face-to-face consultation. So you would put that documentation there. And for us, the economic uncertainty revolved around what are your top 2 or 3 concerns. We expected that these issues would impact our business negatively. That's the big thing. Why would there be a negative impact by causing these things?
So at this point, all of us in our BAS program have great numbers in their QuickBooks, and we can start documenting what the revenues were last March, April, May, and we can put the change into our document that we're keeping. So we'll have those.
Right. There's some great reports in QuickBooks. There's a report that's your profit and loss, and you can compare it to prior periods. So you just put profit and loss for this year to date, and then mark compare to prior year, and you're going to see those numbers. You can also do that with your balance sheet, Gary. So you can see how your liquidity, which we're going to talk about in a minute, has changed during that time period. And then what is your current business activity? So when the shutdown happened, what's happening now and what's expected as you move forward over the next several months to the end of the year even. And so something like from this date to this date, our financial reports indicated a decrease of revenue of blank in 2020 compared to the same period of 2019. Again, that's that document we're talking about that you can get out of QuickBooks. And because the situation created by COVID-19, my business name faced significant economic uncertainty and who have suffered documented disaster-related economic injury as indicated by a loss of $10,000 or a decline of customer payments even on your accounts receivable, and we're going to talk about that later.
And once again, we can go to your balance sheet and compare the situation, the financial situation or health last March, April, May, this March, April, May, and then I'm with you, continue all the way to the end of the year so that you can show the impact.
Yeah, extrapolate that out.
Yep.
And then this becomes the issue that a lot of us really aren't comfortable with, this term. We don't use it a lot. What liquidity do you have to support those activities? And so we want to dive into that in the next video and talk about liquidity and how it's impacting your decision to get a PPP loan.
Thank you, Leann.
Thanks, Gary.